Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that His presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. We continue on in 1 Peter chapter 3. You know that Peter has been emphasizing that even when people do us bad, that we need to retaliate with good. We don't pay back evil for evil, but rather we bless those who do us wrong. And so he continues with that line of thought, with that argument. So 1 Peter chapter 3, beginning at verse 13. Who is going to harm you if you are eager to do good? But even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear their threats, do not be frightened, but in your heart set apart Christ as Lord. Now I know that the verse continues on a little bit from there, but that's where we're going to stop it today. And I think about that question, who is going to harm you if you are eager to do good? And that works most of the time. And most of the time, if we are determined to do good, nobody is going to be out to get us. Nobody is going to harm us. That most of the time, if we take the initiative and we're eager to do good, nobody's going to pay us back evil for doing good. But you know, and I know, and Peter knows that there are exceptions. I mean, you think about Jesus, the one we're supposed to be tracing. He was eager to do good, and he got crucified. And you think about Daniel, eager to do good, thrown into the lion's den. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, eager to do good, and yet thrown into the fiery furnace. And so, yes, you know, if you are eager to do good, who is going to harm you? Most of the time, no one. But there are exceptions. And so then Peter recognizes that, and he goes on to say, as you heard, but even if you should suffer for what is right, even if you should suffer because you are doing good, you are blessed. Blessed to suffer, blessed to do good. Why? Well, because that's the pattern of Christ. And so God is going to be with you in that to bless you in some kind of way. Now listen to what else he says. Even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear their threats. Do not be frightened, but in your heart set apart Christ as Lord. I think that's key to being able to continue to do good even when there's suffering involved, even when people do you wrong, even when people make threats against you for doing good. Because instead of living in fear of them and in fear of what they might be able to do, in our hearts we have set apart Christ as Lord. That we are living under the lordship of Christ rather than living under the fear of those who could harm us because of the good that we're doing, because of the right that we're doing. Set apart Christ as Lord in your hearts. We live by Christ's lordship rather than under their threats, under fear of them. And in setting apart Christ as Lord, with Christ as Lord, Christ gives us the power to keep on doing good, to keep on doing right, no matter what the outcome might be, no matter what opposition we might face. Christ as Lord. And again, I think about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And, you know, they set apart God as Lord. And so they weren't going to give in to Nebuchadnezzar and bow down before that statue, even when it meant suffering. And they were blessed. God was with them in the fire and actually brought them through it. And think about Daniel. You know, he didn't give in to the threats. He set apart Christ, or set apart God as Lord. And God was with him in the lion's den and brought him through. And his story became a testimony, and to where others recognize his God, and the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is the true and living God. Same thing for you and me, that when we set apart Christ as Lord, Christ is with us in the suffering. Christ is with us to bring us through the suffering, and we don't have to live in the fear of threats. Christ actually empowers us to keep on doing good. And so wherever you find yourself scattered today, do good. Who's going to harm you if you're zealous to do good? And I'm sure that probably something or somebody has come to your mind, well, they'll harm me. They're already threatening me and I'm already doing good. Set apart Christ as Lord. Live under the lordship of Christ rather than under the threat of those folk. And don't fear them. Honor God, honor Christ. And you'll discover that Christ is with you to strengthen you to keep on doing good. Well, God bless. Have a great day. Keep on doing good under the lordship of Jesus Christ.